This is Mercy Pilkington for GoodEReader.com at Digital Book World, talking to Carmen Lamb and Jean Kaplansky from Aptara, who'll be talking to us about Apple's new initiative, the iBook Author, and giving us a demonstration of some of the things that Aptara has done with it. So Jean, why don't you start out by telling us a little bit about what the program itself is?
Okay. Well, iBook Author is a new application that's based in the Apple App Store for Macintoshes, running the Lion version of the OS, that's 10.7. And what it does is it makes it very easy for you to take the bits and parts that you would use to create an EPUB and put them all together into a package that you can easily deploy into Apple iBooks 2.0 on an Apple iPad. Now, the thing about iBooks Author is that it is very specific to the Apple platform. There are some interesting clauses in the user license terms of agreement. One of those clauses says that if you create your ebook package, your iBook per se, with their software, you can only sell it through the Apple iBook store, or you have to give it away free because it can only be read in the Apple iBooks 2.0 app on an iPad. Now, the thing about this is what they did is started with the EPUB 3 standard, and then they moved away from the actual standard and did extensions in ways that made sense to them. So they did some extensions in the area of the style sheet and some extensions in the area of the functionality driven by JavaScript, and they did some extensions to the actual packaging of the content itself to really indicate that this is an Apple iBook. It's not an EPUB 3, so you should not expect the iBook to be capable of being read by an EPUB 3 functioning reader. So that's about it about the authoring tool. It's pretty much drag and drop, pull your pieces into place, and then do a package. And once you've got your package, you've got a real easy way of getting it up on iBooks.
Okay, well great. And Carmen, you're going to give us a little bit of a demonstration about what Aptara has actually done with this functionality so far.
Sure. Well, what we did over the weekend was, of course, download the tool, and we wanted to play around with it, see what the user friendliness was like, the interface. So we took some content that we had from a client and poured it in using all the tools that the iBook Author provides. The functionality is really, quite interesting. There's some quiz functionality. Here's a multiple choice. They're trying to build in a lot of interactivity into the content, which of course a lot of students will enjoy. But the tool, of course, will be also used for a non-educational book. So, authors of all kinds, I think, will be able to use the tool as long as they understand the limitations behind it. Here's a video that can play within the content. You have Zoom as you would normally have. So it's certainly user-friendly as long as people understand the limitations. I think it's very useful for a certain market, and it will be very interesting, as this evolves and people start using it, what the feedback truly is. We have a webinar on Thursday that will discuss, a week later, what people are starting to say about it. McGraw-Hill will be joining that webinar, so it'll be interesting to get their perspective on it as they were part of the release.
Great, and we'll have the link to that webinar on our website as well. Thank you both so much. Again, this is Mercy Pilkington for Good eReader at Digital Book World.
Thank you.